Why, hello there everybody. How are you doing today? It's me, again. And yes, I'm here with another update. And today's update is just like all previous updates. My phone has not rung. Yet. Because it's going to ring. Now, yesterday someone messaged me and asked me, who am I expecting to call? Who exactly is going to call you, okay? Because I've been following you for a while and you keep saying that somebody's going to call you. So who's going to call you? Well, I responded back. I said it's really very simple. Real law enforcement, real attorneys, real judges are going to call me. Because I know the truth. And real judges, real law enforcement, real attorneys know the truth. The truth is, my friends, we do not live in a democracy. We live in a constitutional republic, which means the majority does not rule. The law rules. The law is the final say. And I'm going to hurt a lot of y'all's feelings. A lot of y'all secular humanists, a lot of y'all legalistic people, according to the founding document of the United States of America, which is the Declaration of Independence, you might want to go read it sometime. We get our authority and we act solely on, it's going to hurt a lot of y'all's feelings, Almighty God. Almighty God is the ultimate authority. So says our founding documents. For all of you government empowering people, our government says that Almighty God is above our government. Go read the documents some more. Go back and read the Declaration of Independence. How about that? But you all are convinced that we live in a democracy. Hello, it's only been brain-fed into you. Why do you think... You see, here's the difference between a constitutional republic and a democracy. In a democracy, the majority rules. Constitutional republic, the law rules. The law is in place in the United States of America to make sure that no one, not the government, not a law enforcement officer, not an attorney, not a judge, not any type of politician, or even a preacher, no one can force or make a law-abiding citizen do something that they do not want to do. Look at that. Light bulbs coming on. The law is not there to stop crime, because if the law stopped crime, well, then all you'd have to do is write a law. Criminals are criminals because they do not obey the law. How about that? Now, because the law rules, just to keep it simple for some of you slow folks, okay? Why do you think in every single oath they say, especially in the federal government, to uphold the Constitution? Because the Constitution is the standard that must be met. The Constitution is the law. How about that? It's not, oh, well, we're just going to get rid of them now. But a lot of you all have taken the bait because you all have, they repeat it over and over and over again. Folks, stop listening to the stupid little people in the stupid little box. They don't have a clue as to what in the world they're talking about. You remember the Sinclair video. I'm quite sure you saw it. Sinclair is a cable network that owns a bunch of TV stations across the country. And all of their little local news people were parroting out the same thing. This is a threat to our democracy. This is a threat to our democracy. This is a threat to our democracy. Oh, we don't live in a democracy. We live in a constitutional republic that operates under democratic rules. How about that? And no, I'm not talking about the Democratic Party. Folks, some of you all just need to Google some of this stuff. You all don't even know how your own government works. That's the problem. And you won't admit that you don't know how your own government works, because, well, then that would mean that you could be wrong. And you're more concerned with being right than knowing the truth. Let that sit in. Let that sink in. Now, last night I was watching Conservative Mama. I like the woman. And I don't agree with everybody 100% across the board. That's what a slave does. That's what a drone does. No. I don't agree with everything everybody says. For example, she said it's out of ignorance. A lot of you all speak out of ignorance. You don't know what in the world you're talking about, and you're going to get your feelings hurt. We need to fire Jeff Sessions. That's crazy. He's doing everything by the book. You all want to cut corners. You all are upset. You all are upset that you're demanding that somebody else does something while you sit there and do nothing. You demand that somebody comes and fixes the mess that you created. And yes, you created it because you, first refuse to hold yourself accountable, which means you refuse to hold anybody else accountable, thinking that, hey, if I don't bother anybody else over there, then they won't come bother me. Well, hello, look where we're at now. No. There has to be a standard that's met. And in the United States of America, especially in the federal government, especially in law enforcement, especially in our courts, the Constitution of the United States of America is the standard that must be met. If you do not meet that standard, if you violate that standard, then you are a criminal. I don't care how nice of a person you are. I don't care what political party you are affiliated with. The problem is we have been overlooking the Constitution of the United States of America. Plain and simple. And look where it has gotten us. Right here. You all are convinced that, well, if I don't know, then I'll just make something up. I'm relying on somebody else over there to tell me the truth. Oh, wow. Listen to that. I'm relying on another man to tell me the truth. And, hey, he's a good guy. Just go ask him. He's for me. Just go ask him. He's a politician. He'll tell you anything. Now, I also listened to, in that same show, and I like the woman. I like her. She's funny. But some things, they just, just because you got a little bit of an audience, sister, doesn't mean that you're somebody now. Okay? Doesn't mean that you're acting underneath the law of the jungle. That's all you're doing. You're believing that if you can get enough people on your side, then that makes you right. Well, hell is full of people who thought that they were right. Hell is full of people who thought that they were on their way to heaven. And look where they ended up. Hell is full of nice people. But that's another subject. So they also wanted, well, golly, we need a fire mule. You need a fire mule. Well, hold on a second. And one guy, he put the perfect spin on it. Or he gave the perfect explanation, should I say. And I agree with it. No, let the Mueller thing run its course. See, you all, and then they brought up that, well, if we lose the election, if we don't have enough of our people in charge, when the Constitution is the one that's in charge, then they're going to impeach the president. Folks, you have to have a reason to impeach the president. All of these people who are crying out for impeaching the president, They're criminals. They've got something to hide. The truth, they're lying to you. They just cannot decide when to enforce the law and who the law is enforced. That's not calling enforcing the law. That's called imposing the law on law-abiding citizens, when the Constitution is there to make sure that no one imposes or forces anything upon any law-abiding citizen. Period. So you all are worried about nothing. What you're really worried about is escaping accountability yourself. You're starting to feel the heat. Well, let me help you out with this. The heat is only going to get hotter unless you got up, get into a good relationship with your Creator, armor up with the armor of Almighty God. If you're a man, man up. If you're a woman, woman up. And then stand, say, and do exactly. Stand where Almighty God tells you to stand. Say and do exactly what Almighty God tells you to say and do. And the only way to do that is to not go ask some other man, but to get into a good relationship with him. That's what's going on in this country. Almighty God is moving upon men and women's hearts. And that is bothering the control freaks. Okay? Paul Ryan. I'm not going to run for re-election. Let me explain to you what's going on, folks. Okay? There are deals being made behind the scene because there's about to be a lot of cuffing and stuffing going on. And they can't, if they went in and removed all of the criminals right now, there would be a one big ginormous hole. So, you got to do it slowly, carefully. You're now going to be my mouthpiece. You're now going to be my puppet. I'm now going to tell you what you can say and what you cannot say. You've done enough damage. Go home, kiss the wife and kids, because you're going to prison, son. That's what's going on. But if they brought it out, if you knew exactly what was really happening, if you knew exactly what Jeff Sessions was really working on, it would scare you to death. You would think that we are on the brink of war. There's some things that are just above your pay grade, folks. There's some things that you just don't need to be concerned about. Stop demanding that somebody else comes in and fixes the mistakes, fixes the mess, cleans up the mess that you made. It's time to do your own cleanup work, starting with yourself. It's time that we all hold ourselves accountable. It's time that we all met the standard. And the standard that needs to be met is the standard of Almighty God. And that is exactly what's going on in this country. And that, my friend, is the truth. Just saying.